We're Karen and Bo Christensen, a Danish-American couple who met in Germany in 2016. Bo is an airline pilot, and Karen is a freelance advertising creative director. In late 2022, we bought Château de La Tuilerie in Martel, France, and are working to make it a bed and breakfast and wedding destination fit for a queen. Welcome to Queen's Escape. So Bo wants to show me something today.
Yeah, so I put up some poles and some thread to mark the pathways that we're gonna do. And if you come down this way, you probably can't see it, but over there in front of the bush, there's one which will pass through right here and then continue out this way. You should be able to see the yellow one out there. So one pathway is going to come through here, one out at the end. So I have a pole at that corner, I have a pole over there at that corner, and what we need to figure out now, because the problem is that this bush over there is basically a big tree that was cut down, so the bottom of the trunk is in the ground, and when Bertrand is coming with his digger, I think we should ask him to get it out of there, because then that pathway can go a little bit further out. I have plenty of space on the other side, and yeah, it would make life a little easier if we get rid of that thing.
And what about in the front here? Because it doesn't make sense for a pathway to be so close to the garden at all.
Gravel coming out here, this way, from the steps, and then there will be this pathway coming through.
We need doesn't make sense to have little pieces of grass and a pathway coming in the front here. I think it's too. We want grass in front of this flower beds.
So you would want a bow around here? Because
something nice.
There will be gravel here.
Yeah, this is fine. This is fine, but that can't come so close to this, because then you have this little patch of grass that doesn't make any sense at all. So it would be...
Well, then we're going to have to form it so that there is a bow around. But then you're just going to have a little bit of grass in front of these two, if that's what you want.
No, it doesn't make any... Why would you have a pathway here at all?
So you can go either way.
Nah, you can go in the middle and then go around, but
a big square. So, but
it doesn't make sense to be so close to the flower beds, I think. Yeah.
Well, you can't take the tree down, so it's going to have to be on this side of... But it's possible to make a bow around if that's what you want, but it's going to go straight out that way and straight out that way.
Yeah. Okay.
The line coming up. So this kind of distance, this will be the edge.
Yep.
And then
so it goes around
it's gonna come
in a
around
curve.
Here.
Yes.
Then you come around here, and then you come
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
That's better for my brain.
So I want to take away that trunk which is in the ground, and that's where all the stuff is growing around. It looks like a bush over there. And he asked me if we want to take out these two things in the ground, and I said yes.
Yeah, that sounds
so
good.
They're gonna get out, and the question is, do you want that thing out too?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
I don't see any reason for that. Yep. It blocks the view.
Then I have another question.
Mm.
How far out do we want to go with this? So you have to imagine we want to narrow it a little bit. Now
Yes,
it's 4 meters
definitely.
wide, and I'm suggesting 3 meters, which is going to come in a little bit. So it's not too wide here, but this is the main pathway, and there's going to be the circle out here to the gazebo. And the circle is going to have a radius of 5 meters, so 10 meters diameter, which is, this is 4 meters.
Oh.
You see, it's more than twice the size.
Uh-huh. Oh.
There's another tree, so because I want to have so when you have a big circle here with a
Yeah.
gazebo,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be able to go either way here too,
Yeah.
right? So you have to imagine a big square with a circle in the middle
Mm-hmm.
and a plus, like that.
Yes. And then I'm assuming that the pathway goes around where the gazebo would be.
Yes.
And so there needs
yeah.
to be enough room for the gazebo to be
We're
pretty
gonna
big.
make it so a big circle of 10 meters. This here is 4 meters, so it's gonna be more than twice the size of that. And the gazebo is gonna take up some place. So yes, you will have gravel around the gazebo. So you're gonna come out. You're gonna have some circular area here,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's gonna continue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how far out do we want to go here? Because the next problem is when you are on that side over there, you have a limit. You see where the pole is over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the bush and the trees is the limitation over there. So when that pathway comes down this end, it's gonna have to turn right where the pole is, or
Yes.
approximately there.
And where is that?
Well, right now it's aligned with these two. So that
Oh.
one comes through
Hmm.
here. So this one should go further out than that.
It could go further out to, but then it's not connected to anything?
Well, that's the question. So let's say we have a big square now,
Yeah.
but down in this end we could come out further. So like down there you could make something that went out behind the tree house and came across here and then went in again to join that pathway.
In what shape? Because it wouldn't be a square then.
If you have a square, right?
Yeah.
And this end is down here now. Here's the castle. So you have this square, you have a plus, the gazebo is in the middle. Down here it would look something like this.
But
You
still
come
a
out further.
still a rectangular shape.
Oh, yes, you have to keep the thing straight.
Okay,
You
good.
cannot
Yeah.
be like a
As
drug.
long as it's like that. But I don't know about going behind the treehouse. That's a little.
Well, we can't go through it. There's a tree there, so it would have to come out enough and then pass through here. So it's fine. Because then this pathway would just go straight out to around here.
All right.
And then you can go through.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to have a pathway in the shade.
Yeah.
I think that would be really nice.
You would want to sit on benches in places.
Yeah.
That's what the park is for.
Yeah.
You can take walks, you can sit down.
Yeah.
And there's always shade out here.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, that would be
working
nice.
Out over here, it's usually constant shade in the sun.
Okay.
So I'm hearing Bertrand coming with his tractor and trailer. And let's see, he's supposed to come down this way. There he comes. So I'm
big.
You gotta love the hydraulics.
I can't believe how fast they took down these roots and things. And he's capable of carrying a lot of that stuff away too. It's funny, Bertram doesn't speak English and Beau doesn't speak French, but yeah, they make it work. Here's some of the roots that he pulled up. You know, we've been mowing around these roots for 2 years, and it was going to be something just to have grass there now. You know, he did that. And the biggest and coolest thing is, look, from our terrace, now you can see Gluges. You can see the church and the tops of the little village. You could not see that from the terrace before. Isn't it just stunning? That is the most exciting thing.
So the end of the long main pathway is marked by these 2 yellow poles, and there will be a pathway going across out here. But if I turn around, you see that it's going straight down to the castle. And then I started marking up the grass where we will dig out. So if you see this red marking here, it's creating a circle. It goes around, and this circle is marked here because this is where we want to have a gazebo or pavilion, and the idea is to have it there so that people would be sitting out here and looking at this background. And so I also marked up the main pathway going down from the circle. So you will see these red dots here on the line going all the way down, and over here too. So now we have a pathway marked, and this is what I'm gonna have to do all the way around. Bertrand told me to mark up the lines like a dotted line, and then also here, and then he has something to dig after. So once it's all marked, I will take the poles out and the thread and the cord, and then he can move around with his digger.
And that's him over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's loading up a stump that he pulled up yesterday. That's nice. I like the curved lines.
Yeah, so we're trying to make the...
I hope that one can be as graceful as this one. Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, yeah. This is just me.
Yeah.
So we have Bertrand loading up the first load of stump and debris. And he's trying to close up the hole here as well, which is nice. fact starting to scrape the grass off where the pathway is supposed to be. And I marked it all the way down to the terrace here behind the digger. And over this way. So he's gonna start doing it here. And then after he's done this end, he'll start to move down towards the castle on the left and the right side. So eventually we will continue moving down this way, so we don't have to come back here. The digger and the tractor and the trailer was heavy, and he says the soil here is very soft, but after about 2 weeks he believes that it will come back somewhat anyway, so we'll have to see. But we need the machines in here to do the work. This is about the end of day one, and Bertrand has been pretty precise with the digger. Very straight line there, coming up to the steps of the terrace. I don't know if he's gonna go down this way tomorrow in the center here, but he definitely continued down this way, and again it's a straight line, so it's perfect. I have to say he's really effective with that digger, so it will be exciting to see how far we get tomorrow on day 2.
Yeah, it's early morning and it's so foggy you can't even see Gluges or the cliffs over there, but work has begun on the pathways. And there's Bo out there filling in some of the ground where the stump was. And then our friend Bertrand is back at it again.
We're well into day 2 of scraping the grass, and we've come all this way over here and then down here, and then he started coming in this way because there will be a pathway here as well. So I have some wood standing here which is for the tree house, but Bertrand, he has a fork for the digger, so he will bring it tonight. The digger or the tractor, I'm not sure, but anyway, he's gonna bring it, move this wood, and then I will move this stuff here right in front of me today over there. You see I've been moving some wood already because the pathway is gonna come down through here, and you can see the edge going all the way down to the end. It's hard to see because the soil was not easy to mark yesterday, but if you look closely now, you see in the grass that there is a marking of the edge here too. So this pathway will be the back pathway going down, and you basically come down this way here, and then you can turn right or you can continue. If you do turn right, you're gonna go down straight to the back to the castle. And just down here there's the circle where the gazebo is gonna be. So this will be one long straight path coming out of the terrace, and the limit will be right here. Back in September 22, before we took over the chateau, I was making drawings and plans for park and landscaping, and I had the idea to make a park with pathways, and so I sat down and made these layouts, and I just wanted to show you what the idea was back then. And the first one here is basically a big square, and looks a bit like the English flag with a circle in the middle. Anyway, the idea for the circle was to have a gazebo or pavilion so that you could use it for weddings. And I had trees drawn in, like down here at the bottom you see these 3 chunks of trees. Only I didn't know exactly the position of those in relation to the chateau, and so my drawing was just from what I thought was here and not exactly the position of things. Also, we have trees on the right side over here that I don't have on here, and they turned out to make a big plan change in the end. So I'm just going to show you, this is the first drawing, and then the second one looked like this, and the third one was like this, and then the fourth one was like that. So the idea was there, and we talked about how we could potentially do all this. And then now that we've started doing all this work, it turns out that because some trees are positioned where they are in the park, it's not possible to do any of these 4 layouts actually. So instead we ended up doing this, and this is the reason for it is, of course, the trees. And the trees are positioned in such a way that it wasn't possible to have something going down through the middle here with a circle up here and then continuing, because right here there's a tree. There's a tree over here too. So we also had to take into consideration the flower beds up here, and so we ended up doing like a half circle around the flower beds and then coming out about 65 meters on both sides, and then going down, because there would be a big tree right here, and there was also one around this area. So we were coming down on the back side of that and then all the way back down. And so instead we made a smaller square as a second option down here, and the big 3 chunks of trees that you saw on the other drawings are positioned down in this area here. So this pathway is going just along these chunks of trees. Then the circle was positioned in a place where you have shade, so when these huge trees that are standing down here are having the sun, and this is around noon or 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it doesn't really matter. It just means that the shade is spreading all the way up here. So that means if you have a wedding with a gazebo here and people sitting on either side of this pathway with the chateau in the background, you will have shade like that. And that was important for the decision of how to make this. So every time there's a full load of grass that he scraped up, he's going to take it out to a remote place on the property where it's not going to bother anyone or really not be seen. So I'm just going to show you where he's taking it. So we get rid of the grass, we leave it over there in the corner where it's not really disturbing anyone. And Bertrand is coming with a tractor and a load now. So the next step is that he's gonna come backwards with the digger this way, because there's a pathway here. And I'm standing in the circle. You might be able to see the edge of the circle here. Pathway going down that way. Circle. And so he's gonna probably continue down on the pathway this way here.
So at end of the day, here's the status of the park. We have the pathways going all the way out this way. And then coming in and coming around the flower beds. Going out to the middle there, where there will be a gazebo for weddings. And that's where the work ended for the day. They were all the way back there, and then back, and back, and then around the whole end, and then coming back to here. Very significant amount of work done. And we had the gravel guy come today and have a look and take a sketch so he knows how much gravel to get a quote for. Very exciting. Our walking paths are really coming together.
So we're a bit well into day 3 now of doing this job here, and Bertrand, he progressed pretty quickly this morning. So it's just 10:30 right now, and he already digged out in the back over here, and now he's going down this way so that he doesn't have to come back after he will close up these squares, I guess you can call them. So that pathway will continue down this way, and he already made the connection here can see right here. So now he can just continue down that way, and then I guess he will join this one at the end too, and then he will close it up down at the end as the final steps. Over at the fireplace I marked up a circle around it, so we can also have gravel in there, and Karen wants some Adirondack chairs so people can sit out there in the evening, enjoy the fireplace. Yeah. So we just have a little stop in production here. One of the hydraulic cables here, a line's burst, and so you can see it's dripping on the ground, and Bertrand has told me that the local tractor store will have a new hose that he can install quickly, and then he can progress on the work. The good part is that where the oil is spilling now is the soil that will come up anyway, so, and it will be gone from here in just a matter of 1 hour, I guess, so it won't really get into the ground, so that's good. And yeah, so we don't really have much left to go. He's gonna come down this way, and there's the turn to the right, and then just down this way, and he's gonna meet with what he already dug up here. Go further left, and then you see this other turn over here where the grass is long, and that will go down to where the brown area is, and he's gonna meet it there, and that will conclude the entire job of digging out these pathways. So now Bertrand, he suggested that it looks a little bit like it's narrowing in, so when you come down the steps it looks a bit slim, this one, and we all agree. So we're gonna change it, and we're gonna make it wider so it starts out at the corner here on both sides, and then all the way down, so that we will have a wider main pathway passing the pavilion and going down to the end. So I've just come down to the other end so you can see it from here as well. So we're gonna widen it, and I'm gonna get a couple of poles and some cord so I can pull a straight line from here all the way down to the steps and on the other side. So I guess I need 4 poles and a lot of cord or thread, and get to work on the marking.
So here's the update for today. We widened the pathways to go from the bottom of the steps here to have just one really grand aisleway down there, and you can see the difference where Bertrand and Beau are standing. The pathways are narrower down there, down there, and wider coming this way. And just after seeing them being narrow, it felt really good. Bertrand suggested it, but Beau had it like that initially anyway, and it felt really good to make this one really wide. You know, it's cool for the others to be smaller, but it felt really nice for this one to be so wide.
out here at the end of the pathway, we decided to widen it so that it's a little bit wider and fits to the steps when you come down from the terrace. And the reason for that is that it felt like it was narrowing in when you came down, so we made it wider now to compensate for that. Now you have like a more open feeling when you come down to it. So the rest of the pathways are 3 meters wide or 10 feet, and this one, the big one here, is almost 5 meters. It's a little less than 5 meters.
So Bo has been straightening the edges on the pathways today. You can really see a difference where he's gone out there and been very carefully working along his lines. Oh, there he is actually. Down there on the phone. But yeah, he's done a really good job. Looks so straight from up here and really nice. It's raining. Bo is working out there. I told him to come in. I'm just capturing this for when he catches a really bad cold.
So I'm doing all the trimming here, and I came around yesterday on this side, and then this morning I did this down here, and now I've just put up the cord all the way down to the other end, so I will get a straight line here. And before I put up the cord, I have to use the rake to take away the loose soil and kind of get the edges down, because when Bertrand was digging, he was scraping, and so some of it kind of came up. So we have to get that back down and stump it a little bit so it gets flat. And now that I put up the cord, I can get to the point of trimming the edge, and I'm just using this shovel here, or spade, to do that. It's quite extensive work, because I don't know, it probably will take me an hour to get down to the other end, but after that hour I need a break, because it feels like my arms are detaching from the corpus. Here you can kind of see how it looks when it's scraped. The edge is rough but pretty precise, doing work with the digger. And this side here is how it looks after I use the rake to scrape down the loose soil and just stump it so it gets kind of even again. And this is how it looks after I trim the edge down to the middle. So that's the process of doing that. And there you have it, folks, a straight line all the way down. Karen never seen a straight line before she met me. So we're gonna cut down this tree here because it's hanging a lot. And last storm we had last year, the big branches came down and we had to remove all that.
So now that we've taken this leaning tree down, we can see a lot more. There's Gluges. How about that?
Okay, so after doing the left side here, I continued on the right side, and now this pathway is done, and it took me about 2 hours, I would say, so that's pretty good. And I don't have much left to do now, as like this one here, this one, and the one in the far end, and then I just have to do this side over here and this piece coming back to the center where the steps are, and then I'm actually done. So it's going forward.
It's Monday after the weekend. It was quite rainy yesterday, but Bo has been straightening out the paths, and this morning Bertrand, he dug around the fire pit. How about that? And he's actually completed the pathways now.